The following is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, Dudites? So, I'd like to say something right quick. I don't know if you guys have noticed the resin, but I've started to put my hand in the D&D field. It's like, well, D&D itself is quite fun, and it allows me to get a group of friends out and play and create a world. And it's very fun. I'm streaming that, if you ever want to catch it live, on twitch.tv/RollinBones. That's ROLLINBONEZ. Please drop by the channel, give it some support, help it grow. If you're into D&D and have some time to spare. It's like, but just because I'm doing the D&D thing doesn't mean my what ifs are going to stop. I had recently just gotten over a bit of writer's block, so we are back, baby. So here we go. Welcome to part 8 of What If Deku Was the Only Boy in Luna Nova. Some time has gone by since the harsh winter incident, and the spring was encroaching on the academy. Chirps and squeaks could be heard in the air. Izuku was spending his time after school deep in meditation. Oddly enough, Akko joined him. Akko was so deep in her meditation that Izuku had thought she was either merely sleeping or in trance. However, on further inspection of her mana, he could tell that she was seriously meditating. Like I said in the first part, this is a fusion of Tolkien and D&D elven lore. For those who remember, Akko was presented as a repressed half-elf. However, I'm here to reveal a few things. The true suppressed half-elf was Akko's mother, making Akko herself 3/4 of an elf, I believe. I think my math's right. If it's not, let me know in the comments. So, I'm making the ruling that she can trance and sleep depending on how spent she is. But, enough of that. Let's get back to the story. Akko and Izuku had been hanging out, much to Diana's delight. The two got along quite well to the point where she would come to him for advice on magic whenever he was available instead of going to her dad. While sure, Izuku was a busy man as wizard, her father had it worse since he had to work as the groundskeeper at the castle Magus and train Amanda as the new Kamen Rider Beast on top of, well, being the zoology professor at Luna Nova. But speaking of Beast, let's go to Amanda right now. Amanda, who had been run ragged by Kosuke, was in a heavy trance due to magical exhaustion, so she's pretty much sleeping like a normal human at this point. Diana is in a bed with her, however, she is only in a light trance. Amanda's breathing became heavy. She began to sweat and groan, and then let out a tiny cry of horror. Diana intently staring at her. The first thing she saw. Welcome to the club. You finally had the nightmare. Now get ready for the scary part, Amanda. Us elves are so few in number, and birth rates are so low, that no one would bat an eye at that, so long as a child was produced. We are both gorgeous, but let's face it, she is perfection. I won't go into detail on who this woman is, but I'm sure a few of you have figured it out already. Diana gave Amanda a hug, and that hug became something else entirely. Izuku would later show up to rest for the day and spend it with his ladies. Both of them looked at Izuku with predatory grins. Girls? Why are you looking at me like that? Hey, what are you two doing? Stop that. It tickles. The girls continued their assault on their hubby for a bit. Izuku would ask what that was about and be denied an answer. With the next few days, Izuku patrolled Zawame City and goes on a date in town with Amanda and Diana. He didn't know what, but he could feel that something was bothering him. So he took to being a good husband. That's when Izuku laid eyes on the Invest as connected the dots. Sorry, girls, but I think our date is over. Looks like I've got some work to do. As Izuku was pulling out a ring to deal with the Invest. Hey, don't go leaving me out of this, Izuku. We're supposed to be partners in more ways than one. Amanda exclaims in frustration. She gets that he was trying to protect her, but who's gonna protect him? Diana knew the gate spell, so she'd be going to the safest place in the city for her to be. At the moment, the Inui household. Don't die. I love you both. Shabba-dabba-touch-the-shin. Shabba-dabba-touch-the-shin. Get open. Flame, please. He. Lion. Lion. The riders were suited up and ready to go. A small group of Invests were attacking a small child. Defend. Police. Buffer. Go. Buffer. Beast rushed the Invest and got them away from the ward that Izuku had put up to protect the children. While she had faith in him, if they continued to attack it, it wouldn't look good for his mana reserves. With fewer Invests to deal with, Wizard went on the offensive. Copy. Police. Wizard copied his sword gun in gun format and began felling many Invests, allowing a brief window to allow the children to escape to safety. He made a point to cover their escape route to assure said safety. All was going well. However, he wasn't expecting a phantom to show up and make a bad day worse. This harpy had Wizard on the ropes and was oddly powerful. I better take to the skies to fight her. Hurricane! Police! Foo. When he brought the fight to the sky, the harpy was proving to be too much for him in terms of speed and tenacity. Meanwhile, on the ground, those seemingly never-ending pool of Invests was beginning to be a problem for Beast. That is until another challenger to this madness arrived. Orange! The sound of a zipper could be heard. Beast momentarily caught the source in her peripheral vision. A new rider was joining the fray. Lock on! Suya! Orange arms! Path through the audience on stage! I will never get used to this. The new guy cried out.
A literal orange samurai. I see you, Yggdrasil. I see you.
Beast! That new guy's better equipped for taking on the Invest. Just help him out. He looks kinda new to this. I'd help, but I'm getting wrecked over here.
Wizard abruptly ended his call. He needed to focus on his dogfight with the Harpy Phantom. A dogfight to which he was losing at the moment. Whenever he'd get a sliver of a bead on her, she'd be elsewhere before he could even think of pulling the trigger or making a slash. With two riders on the ground, on top of the fact that one was actually equipped to handle this, they handled it rather well. However, when they finished, Wizard was struck to the ground and his henshin was forcibly undone. Ah, man.
Ow! She's too quick, not to mention she's tougher than she looks. As the harpy was coming in for the final blow, it was struck by a red blast of energy. Izuku turns to see Fies holding a small box in his other hand. I think this will help you take the fight to her, my prince. Fies kneeled down and opened the box to reveal an emerald dragon ring, and that made Izuku smile. Hurricane Dragon could even the playing field. Oh no you don't! Harpy comes down for another quick strike. Falco! Go! Falco! Saber strike! 5! Beast strike hit home, but all it did was make her stagger. Are you serious? Get that ring on now, Izuku! She did not need to tell him twice. Hurricane Dragon! Please! Bew, bew, bew! Bew, bew, bew! I wonder. Izuku placed the special ring on his finger. Very nice! Special! Fabulous! A glowing green dragon exits from the circle and embraces Wizard, and he now has wings. And is actually now at least as fast as Harpy, if not faster. The two clash a few times, but Wizard strikes too. Time to end this. Very nice. Special. Thunder. Fabulous! Wizard circled around Harpy, and she was stuck in a tornado of green energy, and lightning started to crackle as well until she was struck down in a massive explosion. Wizard lands, and the other rider, near the other riders. Talk about a workout. The riders released their henshins and returned to the Inui Craftsworks across the street from a certain cafe. Welcome to the fold, Gaim. No, Kazarama-kun. I am Izuku Midoriya, Kamen Rider Wizard. Does that name ring a bell to you? Izuku was testing Koda to see if he was completely human. But even if he was before, Yggdrasil works in strange ways. Sorry, but should I know that name, Midoriya-san? Well, let's settle that. He's completely human. After everyone had a moment to get over that realization, they revealed themselves. Human riders are very rare, my friend, but not impossible. I'm the prince of the elven race, and that one over there is one of my queens. Koda took a moment to think. Not many kings have the pleasure of having their wives fight alongside them, sir. Diana smiled and Amanda giggled. No need to call me that. Unless you want to, that is. You are human after all. So, Zawame City is yours to defend. I'll still be dropping by from time to time, and Takumi actually lives here, so if you ever find yourself in a bind, don't be scared to hit us up. We'll come flying. Riders look out for other riders. Amanda stole her husband's line, and he had a grumpy look on his face. Come on, Izuku. You didn't think I was going to let you have all the good lines now, did you? Diana laughed. Handshakes were made, and not long after, the Midoriya family had to leave. They had school tomorrow, after all. It's not Lunanova if there wasn't some form of mishap in the story. While sure, the events of Zawame City were interesting, let's get to that mishap, shall we? We returned to Castle Magus in a most lovely evening. A wonderful spread had been laid down by the Soma couple. However, in front of Izuku was a platter that had been covered and presented by Alice. Izuku couldn't help but notice that Ryo wasn't present for dinner this evening. Alice, where's your husband? Is he not well this evening? Izuku asked while gently holding onto her hand. Alice had a forlorn look on her face. My ex-husband is busy packing his things. Everyone turned to Alice at the word ex-husband. Izuku's grip got a little tighter. Alice, I'm sure this will work itself out in time. Is divorce really the only option? Inko asked. Alice had a serious look on her face. No, my lady. It most certainly will not work itself out. Alice catches herself. My prince, if you will please feast your eyes on the platter. Before Izuku's eyes was an elaborate spread of some of his favorite foods. But what surprised him was there was a note on the platter. Read it and you will understand why Ryo and I are absolutely over. Izuku does just that and passes the note over to Diana, who passes it to Amanda and back to Izuku. The looks on the girls' faces were serious but seemed happy. Alice, you're pregnant? That's absolutely wonderful! Izuku exclaims while hugging Alice. Alice sighs with content and takes the hug in. I'm glad that you're happy. Izuku tilted his head in curiosity. Why wouldn't he be happy for his Alice? Most importantly, why would her pregnancy constitute a The smile on Izuku's face got bigger, and he kissed Alice. So, I suppose it's time for a small lore dump here that'll explain everything. Izuku is a prince, and as such, needed to learn how to, well, please his future paramours. There was quite a long list of females that wanted that duty, however, the applicants had been put through a fine-tooth comb. You gotta vet something like that after all. And Izuku himself had chosen Alice and Erina, if they were willing, and of course, they were. Long story short, Alice was Izuku's first partner, and they never really stopped. He could literally just call on the two of them whenever, but remember what I said about fertility rates? No one would put up a fuss about this child since it was a miracle. Well, short of Ryo, really. Ever since the Sabbath, the already low birth rate had declined even lower. Remember, though, Izuku was nowhere near when the Sabbath hit. Diana spoke up. Not to be insensitive, are you certain that the child is Izuku's? I ask in all honesty, Alice, and if that is the case, you needn't fear me taking your child from you. That child is going to have multiple mothers, if that's fine with you. Alice stood resolute and cast a spell that shows mana. Hers had been slightly altered to match Izuku's and Inko's, and that's all the proof they needed. The procedure has the nickname the poor man's paternity test. I cast it as soon as I found out. And let's just say that Ryo isn't keen on raising another man's child. Thank you, Lady Diana. I'll go sit down and eat. Alice goes to sit near her cousin and cousin-in-law, but Izuku and Diana grab her hands. Inko levitates a seat. The mother of my first grandbaby shall be sitting next to me from now on. I can't wait to spoil that child rotten.
If you like that, United States has smashed that like button. Let's go full calling on the notification icon. Ring that bell, baby. And of course, don't forget to go plus ultra on the subscribe if you're not. Now rest easy, Deadites. And remember,
The night
is ours.